The US government just forced Anthropic to take down Fable 5. This was one of the most powerful AI models Anthropic had ever released publicly. It launched as a Mythos class model, built for advanced reasoning, coding, and long-horizon agent work. But within days, access was suspended after the government cited national security and export control concerns. So in this video, we're breaking down what Fable 5 was, why it was considered risky, and what this means for the future of frontier AI. Because this isn't just an Anthropic story, this may be the beginning of a new era where the most powerful AI models are treated less like software products and more like strategic national infrastructure. Before we can understand why Fable 5 was taken down, we need to understand what it actually was. Fable 5 was Anthropic's most advanced public AI model. It belonged to the company's Mythos class family of frontier models, designed for advanced reasoning, software engineering, research, and autonomous agent workflows. Unlike traditional chatbots, Fable 5 was built to solve complex, multi-step problems, write and debug code, use tools, and maintain context across long-running tasks. Anthropic positioned it as a model capable of powering next-generation AI applications, from software development to cybersecurity and enterprise automation. In other words, this wasn't just another chatbot release. It was one of the most powerful AI systems ever made available to the public. And that's exactly why it attracted so much attention from regulators and government agencies around the. Let's walk through exactly what happened. On June 9, 2026, Anthropic publicly released Fable 5, one of its most capable AI models to date. The launch attracted immediate attention because of the model's advanced reasoning, coding, and autonomous agent capabilities. Over the next several days, concerns began to emerge within government agencies regarding potential cybersecurity risks and access to the technology by foreign actors. By June 13th, the situation escalated. Anthropic reportedly received a government directive restricting access to both Fable 5 and the even more powerful Mythos 5 model. Shortly afterward, access was disabled globally while the company worked to comply with the order. In less than 4 days, one of the most advanced public AI systems in the world went from launch to shutdown. Anthropic later confirmed the takedown and publicly disagreed with parts of the government's assessment, arguing that significant safety measures had already been implemented. The result was a landmark moment for the AI industry. For the first time, a frontier AI model was effectively taken offline due to national security concerns. And that raises a much bigger question. What exactly was the government worried about? That's where the story gets really interesting. Here's where the story starts to get a little uncomfortable. Because the government wasn't worried about what Fable 5 could do today. They were worried about what it might enable tomorrow. Think about it. If you build an AI that can reason at an expert level, write software, discover patterns, use tools, and solve complex technical problems, where exactly is the line between productivity and capability? According to reports, officials were concerned that models like Fable 5 could potentially be used to accelerate cybersecurity research, vulnerability discovery, and other activities that become much harder to control once the technology is widely distributed. Now, to be clear, there's no public evidence that Fable 5 was actively causing harm, and Anthropic has argued that extensive safeguards were already in place. But that's not really the question regulators were asking. The question was, what happens if a model becomes so capable that the cost of misuse drops dramatically? Imagine a future where a single individual has access to capabilities that previously required an entire organization. What happens when advanced cyber operations, intelligence gathering, or autonomous software development become accessible to anyone with an internet connection? And what happens if those capabilities spread beyond the control of the companies that created them? That's the concern. Not necessarily what Fable 5 was, but what it represented. Because for the first time, policymakers may have looked at a frontier AI model and concluded that it wasn't just another software product, it was strategic technology. The same way governments think about advanced semiconductors, aerospace systems, or nuclear research. Whether that concern is justified is still being debated. But one thing is certain, the conversation has shifted from, can we build more powerful AI, to, who should be allowed to have it? And that question may define the next decade of artificial intelligence. The shutdown of Fable 5 isn't just a story about Anthropic, it's a glimpse into the future of artificial intelligence. For years, the AI industry operated under a simple assumption: build more capable models, release them, let the market decide how they're used. But that assumption may no longer hold. If governments are willing to intervene after a model is released, the next generation of AI companies may face an entirely different reality. More oversight, more regulation, more scrutiny, and potentially more restrictions on who can access the most advanced systems. In some ways, frontier AI is starting to resemble other strategic technologies: semiconductors, nuclear research, advanced aerospace systems, technologies that governments believe are too important to leave completely unregulated. Now, supporters argue that this is necessary. If AI continues improving at its current pace, society needs safeguards. The stakes are simply too high. But critics warn that heavy regulation could slow innovation, concentrate power among a few large companies, and make it harder for startups and researchers to compete. So we're entering a new phase. Not just a race to build the most powerful AI, a race to determine who controls it, who gets access, and what responsibilities come with creating technology that could fundamentally reshape the world. Whether you agree with the government's decision or not, one thing is becoming clear: the age of unrestricted frontier AI may be coming to an end, and the decisions made over the next few years could define the future of the entire industry. So where do we go from here? The reality is that Fable 5 won't be the last frontier AI model to face scrutiny. In fact, this may be the beginning of an entirely new phase in technology, a phase where the most valuable skill isn't writing code from scratch. It's knowing how to work alongside increasingly powerful AI systems. Think about what's happened over the last few years. AI can already generate code, it can explain architecture, it can debug applications, it can create tests, and every year, these systems become more capable. But here's the interesting part. Companies still aren't hiring AI. They're hiring people who know how to use AI. People who can identify problems, design solutions, make trade-offs, build products, and deliver business outcomes. That's what the industry is starting to call product engineering, the ability to combine software development, product thinking, system design, and AI into one skill set. And that's exactly why product engineers are becoming some of the highest paid professionals in tech. Not because they can memorize algorithms, not because they know every framework, but because they can take an idea and turn it into a real product, from concept to production. If you're looking at the future of AI and wondering where the opportunity is, that's where I believe it is. Learning how to build, learning how to ship, learning how to leverage AI instead of competing against it. And that's exactly why I built Develow, a platform designed to help you become a product engineer through real-world, AI-assisted, full-stack engineering problems. Not toy coding challenges, not interview tricks. Real engineering work. If your goal is to land a six-figure engineering role, break into FAANG, or become the kind of engineer companies are actively searching for in the AI era, that's the journey we're building. You can browse the entire problem catalog for free. And if you're serious about becoming a product engineer, check out the 90-day product engineer roadmap on Develow. Because the future won't belong to the people who fear AI. It will belong to the people who learn how to build with it.